Hello everybody, in this video we want to show how to draw the graph of y equal r cosine 2x plus 1 from the exercise 6e part 7 from the pure mathematic book year 2. Okay, in this graph at first we should understand how to draw the graph of cosine x. So the graph of cosine x was very easy. If you check the videos, my videos in my channel, you can understand how to draw the graph of cosine x easily. Okay, at first I know the cosine x started from up. Let's change it. Go down. Passes from here, go down and come here and come up. So in this point we have intersection in pi over 2 and here is 3 pi over 2, and I know I have here pi and here is 1 and negative 1. It is the graph of cosine. So if I want to draw the cosine inverse, I should find a restricted domain that on this the graph is 1 to 1. So if you draw the horizontal line, because it continues, the graph of cosine, if you draw the horizontal line, it intersects in more than one point. So it is not 1 to 1 in whole domain. The whole domain is from minus infinity to positive infinity, but it is not accepted. Only I should find a restricted domain that on this I should draw the graph of cosine inverse. So the best way is here, from here to here. If I choose this restricted graph, if I draw this restricted domain, if I draw a horizontal line, I see it can intercept in one point only. So it is 1 to 1 from here to here. Now write the domain that domain of the cosine. So here for cosine I have the domain that graph in this is 1 to 1. The domain is changed on x-axis, so it is between 0 and pi. Okay, and the range is from -1 to 1. To draw the cosine inverse, I should change the range and domain. So the domain of cosine inverse is from -1 to 1, and the range is from 0 and pi. It is the graph. Now let's draw it. Between -1 and 1, let's find it. The domain is -1 and 1. -1 and 1. And my range is between 0 and pi. Suppose that pi is here. Between 0 and pi is, and I know I have intersection with the axis by on pi over 2. So another point is 1. So if we have 1 and 0, if we draw this graph, it will be like this. So the graph of cosine inverse is this. This cosine inverse of x. If you want to understand how to do the point, you can give the point here and find y, x and y. So if x is -1, y is pi. If x is 0, y is pi over 2. If x is 1, y is pi 0, excuse me. It is the how to understand the graph, draw the graph. Now I need to tell you how to draw the graph of cosine minus cosine inverse. Again, this is very easy. Let's draw the axis here. So for minus cosine inverse, I don't have any change on domain and range, but only I have the change in range. Yes, in range I have the change. Why? I have draw by blue. I have y equal minus cosine inverse of x. Okay, let's put some point x and y. Suppose that if we put x minus 1, so cosine inverse of which angle, cosine of which angle is minus 1. So easily we know that it is pi. Because it is pi and I have minus here, so I should have minus pi here. And for 0, it will be minus pi over 2. And 1, if x is 1, it is 0. Okay, by this shape, let's change it. By this table, I can draw now easily. How? By finding this point, minus 1 and minus pi. Suppose that here is minus pi. Okay, minus 1 and minus pi, it is my first point. Another point is 0 and minus pi over 2. Suppose that here is minus pi over 2. Minus pi over 2. And here is 1 and 0. I can draw the graph like this. It is the graph of y minus cosine inverse x. Now go to solve the problem. Let's erase them. Okay, at first I need to draw the graph of arc cosine of 2x. So arc cosine of 2x is like cosine of x. Arc cosine of 2x is like cosine of x, and everything in them are same. Minus 1 and 1, and here is pi, here is pi over 2. Easily I can draw this graph. It is a graph of y equal cosine inverse of 2x. It's like cosine inverse of x. Only need to shift it to the left, because here said plus 1 and it belongs to x, in the bracket it is, so I should shift to the opposite side. Opposite side is minus 1. So minus 1, when shift this minus 1 here, this point come to here. It is in 0. But here it cannot shift more. Why? Because the cosine inverse is between minus 1 and 1. The domain is between minus 1 and 1, and we should not change the domain. So easily I say my graph should be this. This is the graph of y equal arc cosine 2x plus 1. Or for this, I have another way. Suppose that I have the domain of cosine inverse should not be more than, it should be restricted in this domain, should not be more than minus 1, and should not be smaller than minus 1 and bigger than 1. It should be big between them. Okay, so I know 2x plus 1 should be it's better to write 2x plus 1 is between this, because the angle can say where should be this. Okay, now to make x, I want to know what is the domain, what is the change of x. So minus 1 both sides, because this is extra, minus 1 from all sides. So here remained only 2x. Here is 1 minus 1 is 0. Here is minus 1 minus 1 is minus 2. Now I need x, so all divided by 2, the factor of x. 0 divided by 2 is 0, and this is minus 1. So my graph should be between 0 and minus 1. This is the graph of arc cosine x. Okay, we solved this problem. And if you enjoyed this video, please push the like button and the subscribe button, and have a good time.